Hi, thank you for watching my video. I hope that you can find a piece of what I'm sharing with you helpful. It's my intention with these videos that I'm making now to help anyone that is going through a lot of suffering, physically or mentally. That would be amazing if I could help someone in any way. And I'm recording this video from my bed because I am having some nerve activity in my back and my hips from my spinal cord injury, and I find that if I take a moment and listen to my body, it's telling me to rest. And so here I am, listening to my body and resting, and it feels really nice. And I wanted to make a video today, so this is where I have to make it. So here we are. So I feel called to make these videos. I'm not the most eloquent speaker. I don't have my thoughts organized as I go, and so I do appreciate your patience with my pauses while I'm finding the right word or giving the right word space to come out. But I feel it's really important for me to share some ways or some ideas to sit with, to help you to get through whatever you're going through. Because not only my childhood, which was full of all the different types of abuse, and my adolescence, and then my teenage years was full of extreme depression and episodes of suicide. And I actually wanted to leave this world when I was 8 years old. And it didn't work. It didn't work the time I was in high school. And I'm really happy about that. After high school, I found many addictions to help cope with the suffering that had built up inside of me and wasn't able to be dealt with properly. And those addictions led me down a pretty dark path for several years. Not associated with those was an accident that I had 10 years ago, which made me paraplegic, and I fell. I lost my balance, and I fell backwards, and I fell about 25 feet down onto the cement driveway. And ever since then, I've been using a wheelchair and observing what it is to have this new life. It's been an insane journey. After my accident, immediately after, about a month after, I had a dear friend come to visit me to take care of me. He wanted to help take care of me, and I said that I wanted to have my own space and my own control in my healing process and getting to know how to live this way. I wasn't ready to have someone live with me, even though I was in a wheelchair and very much could have used a lot of support. I have been so independent my whole life as an only child, and someone trying to have some sort of control in such a chaotic environment, when I have the opportunity to have control, I really want to take it. So he got his own place, and one night he was by himself, and he had an epileptic seizure, and he choked on his tongue and suffocated and died. And he was my boyfriend, and he was my best friend for about 8 years. And we dated toward the end of our friendship for about a year. Very special person. So I lost him right after I lost the use of my legs. And it's not just the loss of your legs, it's pretty painful, and you're put on a standard cocktail of so many different pharmaceuticals to help with your anxiety, your depression, your pain, your nerve damage. I found out about a year into it that that medication wasn't doing any good for me. Actually, it was making everything a lot worse. And so I took charge and changed my routine to clean eating and finding peace. About a year after that, my soulmate for my entire life, my grandfather, who was very young, in his early 70s, died in a very tragic way. And I was there to witness it. And it was incredibly powerful. When I came back to California after that, I was a mess and in the middle of a serious existential crisis. I already had a lot going on to deal with, and that was just the icing. So I went into a very long period of time, maybe 3 years, of complete confusion and bouts of surrendering and bouts of grasping for any help through guidance, through spiritual teachers to help me deal with this suffering, with these griefs, with this pain, with all of the heaviness. Not only that, I mean, every single day, getting up and being in a situation where your wrists are pretty weak from doing all the work the day before, and you have to use your wrists to push up your whole entire body and swing it into your wheelchair. And it's like you want to just prolong the time that it takes to get out of bed, because as soon as you're up and start rolling and doing, it's just exhausting. But you can't stay in bed because you have to get up and go to the bathroom. So you get up, and so what I'm saying with all of this, thanks for bearing with me, is that I know about suffering, and I know about discomfort, and I want to tell you that I have found some really, really beautiful paths to a more peaceful, more comforted, more beautiful existence. And It's my goal to help a couple people at least get to the place that I feel. So, back to Heather Cilantro and how each video I hope will be a little dose of detox or a little relief or something really flavorful for you to chew on. So much of our life, even before we begin to speak, we're collecting experiences, and they're being stored in our brain, in the prefrontal cortex, and your brain begins to wire itself to those negative conditions and the negativity bias that we already have inherent in our brains from before, from the beginnings of evolution, when we needed to protect ourselves, where we were always safer to assume that a situation was more dangerous. But now in the modern society, it's pretty safe to say that most people are not having to hunt for the food in the wild and exposed to the elements day after day after day. I know that that's not the story for everyone. For the majority of us, we have a house, we live in municipalities, we live in a community, we have food that we can eat. And so there's not really a need to be acting from a place of fear and scarcity so much. When you give your body a chance to rest, when you start to experience by taking deep breaths, when you start to experience in your body a somatic way of showing your body that we're safe and nothing's wrong, it starts to get stronger, and it takes over eventually through diligence and patience. And then where you start to move from is a different place than from your mind. You start to move from your heart. And in this modern society, I know that moving from your mind is more encouraged, so that you can stay in the realm of capitalism and stay a tool to help keep a machine running. But machines aren't in nature, and we are nature. And every single thing in nature has a unique expression. And when we allow our bodies and our minds to get in tune with what that unique expression is, and we honor that, and we move throughout our days and nights catering to that, the support and the love that comes to you through that energy is incredible. And the way that you begin to experience life and the people that you interact with is so much more beautiful than before, when you were second guessing, comparing, judging. Can you hear the fly? I think it's important in conversations to allow moments of silence. I know we're not used to it because things need to be delivered in a few seconds or in a few minutes, so that you don't have a chance to ask questions. You're constantly being distracted, you're constantly having a conversation, you're constantly filling in the blanks. There's no chance to rest and to feel if it feels right, or if something's wrong, or if you need a minute. We really owe it to ourselves to take the time. I hope you like cilantro. Some people have a genetic disposition to taste, and it tastes like soap or something. So I apologize to those people. You can substitute something else in its place. Heather chlorella, maybe. That's a good one. Anyway, the light's getting dark, and I'm going to rest my eyes and my breath and my heart rate, and let my body meld into the space around me. And feel the energetic field around me. And reassure my body by deep, deep breaths that everything is beautiful and I'm safe. I want to help make it easier. So I'm just going to keep making videos, and hopefully I can bring you some peace.